Good afternoon. Today I am joined by head women's soccer coach Emma Morris, assistant women's soccer coach Denise Rude, previewing the season. What are your goals for this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to win games, right? We're a competitive collegiate program. That's what we want to do. Ultimately, we're looking to try and get in the top four, of the conference, ready for conference tournament. That's ultimately the goal. And then, to be honest, I mean, our other thing is just giving 110%. I mean, we're obviously, very thankful to have a season, and all we're really looking for our girls is to enjoy it, have fun, and 110% in practice and games.
What have you seen from your team during the fall and now the preseason?
Yeah, so I've seen a lot of growth in our athletes, both mentally and physically. The fall was pretty hard. We have a good number of new players, and having to put our athletes into pods and with all of the COVID protocols, it made it really difficult for everybody to get to know each other as well as they maybe would have in a typical year. On top of that, staying focused was also a little bit difficult at times with such a long time in between playing games, and not really knowing when we would play again. But as our team took to the turf this spring, it was really clear that all our athletes want to do is just play the game that they love. And so I've seen a lot of progress made since August, and now our focus has really returned.
You returned your top goal scorer in Maddie Perry. What do you expect from her this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you think of Maddie Perry, you think goals. So, I mean, that doesn't change. We definitely want some goals from her. But ultimately, I mean, look, we know that other teams scout her and they know about her. Obviously, she's very well known in the conference now. So, for her, it's going to be a case of trying to be creative, trying to figure out ways where, if they're trying to double team her or whatever, then, ways to try and get out of that, and also produce opportunities for her teammates, right? I mean, we've brought in some good players who can play around her and work off of her. So ultimately, we're looking at her to try and bring them in the game too. But yeah, definitely goals, and maybe some assists in there too.
How does your preparation change, and how does it stay the same with so many unknowns as your season gets underway?
Yeah, this is a year unlike any other. We have just 8 games in what's seeming like a very short amount of time now. And we worked harder than ever in what ended up being a really long kind of off season. So right now we're just really putting our focus on playing our game and one game at a time.
What have you learned from your fellow coaches about the uniqueness of this year?
It's the year of flexibility. It's the first time that all of our sports have ever been in season at the same time. We've seen games postponed, we've seen games canceled. And so as hard as it can be for a lot of us, this is definitely the year to learn about being adaptable.
And finally, how will you measure success this season?
I mean, again, really, obviously wins and losses are going to play a part of that. But I think for us, ultimately, how hard the girls work, right? I mean, if they're working 110%, practicing games, they're doing what we're asking them to do, following our game plans, things like that. Obviously, then we know that they're buying into the process, into the program and what we're trying to do here, and ultimately trying to make the program better, and keep stepping up every year. I think ultimately as well, the younger girls, this is a year they can't hide. I mean, we're a small roster. They can't hide. They can't kind of back off. They've got to come in and really give us something and, be leadership, potential on and off the field, doing the right things on and off the field, in order to hopefully push the program forward in the right direction to where we want to go ultimately, in 3, 4, 5 years time. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be wins, losses. It's going to be work rate, but it's also going to be the attitudes, right? I mean, it's going to be, positivity as well. And just being able to appreciate the fact that we have a season when a lot of people haven't this year. So we're just grateful to be playing, and we can't wait to see the girls out there on the pitch.